Hi, Precious.
Hi, Wesley.
So how did you feel before the start of the course?
Before the start of the course, I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I was excited because I knew that it was going to be something new and it was something that I needed to do. I was super nervous about everything around it because, you know, working and having my little girl at home and it's just me and her, and I was a little worried about how I was going to be able to put like time so that I can be able to do the course, but I was like, I'm going to power through. It's just 6 months, we'll do it. How do you feel about the course?
So before the course, I was somewhat apprehensive. I didn't know what to expect, obviously. First time for the course to happen this way, and first time for me to do a course like this.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, going into it, just not knowing what our expectations were individually and what we would be doing and how things would work, and kind of learning on the fly was a little scary. But, you know, it happened the way it happened, and we're moving forward and we're done.
So do you recall how you felt at the start or before the start of the course?
Yes.
How did you feel?
I was confident that I knew LA.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect outside of the LA portion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But those were the main feelings going through my mind. LA confidence, and then curiosity. I guess would be the best way to put it.
And then the LA confidence was because you'd studied some discourse analysis and a whole bunch of other interests.
I actually really enjoy that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
That's something that I did in my own free time.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the pre-task. That was fun.
At the beginning, I don't think I think I was prepared. My interview was very informative, and I feel like I learned a lot from it and what I was to expect. However, now that it's done, I feel just really great about what I've accomplished and that everything's done, and you know,
assignments
ticked off, the TPs are taught,
yeah.
you know, the grammar has been learned and still some left, but you know, just so much information I picked up too, so I feel pretty great about being done.
So at the beginning of this course, I was really excited to have the opportunity to learn lots of new techniques and information about teaching because I had never had any formal teaching experience before. I was also a bit overwhelmed as well because I had never had any formal training as a teacher before, so I was worried that I was going to be behind the other students and that everyone else would know all the information already. But my nerves were kind of put at ease really early on once I got to meet everyone, and I realized that many of us had never had this kind of training before, so that made me feel a lot better.
It's your last day, you've had your interview, and how does it feel to be at the end?
I feel pretty great.
Yeah.
Like I've never run a marathon, but I feel like I don't need to anymore because I feel if it feels anything like this, I've felt it and it's great.
Okay.
So good.
Okay. And how do you feel about the fact that the course is over?
Actually, sad. I really like the time spent with the people here.
Yeah.
And in terms of my colleagues, because we're all at different workplaces throughout Shanghai. It's nice to be together. It's nice to have a class where you're not working with like the people you're always seeing every day.
Yeah. So you actually would like the course to be a bit longer? Perhaps we could give you another few more days of inputs. Would you like that? Be honest.
Actually, I really enjoyed the face-to-faces, and I enjoyed every chance to talk to the tutors and my classmates using my voice. I think the typing felt really impersonal.
Okay.
And but the face-to-faces, I think they were much better at bridging context between what we were thinking and what was being given to us during the OT inputs for the videos.
Oh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
Now that the course is over and I've passed, I feel really accomplished. This was not an easy course. It was a lot of work, a lot of long nights and sleepless nights, but it was well worth it. I've learned so much that I will take and put into practice in my classes, and I've met so many great people as a result of this course. So I'm really happy that I decided to go through with the course. And it's been a really, really rewarding experience.
How do I feel now that the course is finished? I feel 5 pounds lighter. I feel like, okay, it's done. All right, it's done. Good job, Precious. You did it. You didn't think you could do it. There were moments where you nearly died, but you made it through. There's moments where I thought that I was gonna like give up because I was just like, I can't do this anymore. But I powered through, and I had a lot of support. So I was really grateful for the support that I had, because every time that I felt like I was gonna die, I would reach out to people who would support me, and they would just, I'm so sorry. They would really help me and lift me up, and yeah, that helped me a lot to actually power through and be like, you can do it.
Yeah.
So I had my support system and made sure that I kept holding on to them so that they could be able to help me to get to where I am today.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I'm done because then it's done.
Yeah.
I hope. Yeah. So how do you feel now?
I'm very grateful that it's done.
Mhm.
I think that I do have some really good takeaways from the course. I think that I learned especially a lot about grammar and some really good skills for using in my regular lessons.
Yes.
Ways that I can adapt our content to fit into a better learning environment
That's
for my
so true.
students, which
Yeah.
is very helpful.
Yeah.
I think that, taking this into my future education career, I think that that's very useful, and it is applicable outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
So I find that very useful. I think that it was a lot and very overwhelming, but
Oh,
again,
yeah.
we did a good job as a class, as a cohort, to really support one another and make it the best learning environment that we could have through the stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that our suggestions that we've given have really, I think, opened the eyes of the course, and I think that there might be some really good changes to it for future
I'm
cohorts.
excited for that.
Yeah.
Did you see this for yourself at the beginning of the course, standing at the end of the finish line?
Sometimes I did. I saw when we first started the course, I was like, okay, this is ready to go. And then when we started doing the TPs, I got a little bit more stressed. But then when we got to like the last TP, I was like, okay, we're nearly there. We got it. We did it. It's really good feeling.
Oh, feeling so good though.
Yes, very much so.
But you've accomplished a lot.
Yes, there's a lot that I've learned so much in this course. Learned all about how to teach differently and to different styles of learners and different styles of learning as well, and preferences, and it's just a really good amount of knowledge that I've learned in this
You
course.
feel, is there anything that you've taken away from this course?
After the course, I think about it. I think the inductive approach is so good. I really like that.
When you look back at the whole course,
Mm-hmm.
is there a memorable takeout? Is there something that you feel like was really good for you as a teacher?
I feel like I've learned a lot of things, and I'm gonna take so much back. I've learned that I talk a lot, more than maybe some need, and I've learned that, especially during instructions, the amount that I speak can really hinder students that might not know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think that those ICQs are really helpful, and CCQs, and just general asking of questions and getting my students to answer and
Yeah.
speak with each other as much as possible is really, and the staging of lessons, I feel
Yeah.
like all of those things I'm going to take right back into my classroom and hopefully implement them just as well as I did while I was here.
And the other thing is eliciting. In the class, I try my best to elicit everything instead of explaining.
I've learned so much from this course, but there are a couple key things that I think will stick with me for a very long time. The first one being context is everything. Without context, English learning and life is meaningless. The next thing is that instruction should always be short and concise to help reduce your teacher talk time. And finally, that your peers and your mentors are everything. They're not just there as support during your teaching, but also there as emotional support when you need it, and can give great advice to help improve you as a teacher.
While we are giving instructions, remember always to be clear, concise, and checked.
What is the one takeaway that you have, Wesley?
Really good takeaway is definitely grammar skills.
Yes.
Before this,
That's true.
I did not have a grasp of grammar. I didn't know why we did things. I knew what we did.
Oh, yeah.
But giving a name to the concept, or giving a name to why we do what we do when we're working with the language, has been very helpful, because it's made me more aware of just language and how I'm teaching and what I'm teaching and why I'm teaching it.
Yep.
And the practical usage for our learners in grammar skills, I think, is just incredible.
Yep. And
Yeah.
advanced scholars, right, especially.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, especially with our older learners,
Yeah.
that they can use those grammar skills, and you see them grow when you teach a grammar lesson with them.
Yep, that's
What's
true.
your takeaway?
My takeaway is, are you learning? Make sure you look into your learners' eyes and make sure that they are actually learning and getting something from whatever you're teaching.
Yeah.
It's something that I've already started implementing, especially during my own classes, and I've noticed, when you actually start engaging with the learners and looking at them and making sure that they are learning, you can actually pick out the learners who aren't learning. And also another takeaway is CCQing. We are very aware that CCQ used to be a very yes or no kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've learned that CCQing is not just yes or no. It's also, you have to give questions that kids can be able to respond to.
Yeah.
The importance of induction, like the importance of the learners learning without you telling them what they're learning.
Learning for themselves.
Learning for themselves, and them having that aha moment. So those are things that I want to take away from this, and I know that it will help me a lot as a teacher in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Good job.
Okay, great job, Wesley. Thank you.
Don't forget the ICQ. To minimize your TTT and maximize your STT, the best way is to prepare as many S2S, student-to-student activities as possible. That's really helpful.
Thank you so much, Shirley.
Phew.
I may be the only one out of the loop. What happened here?
Here,
Yeah.
just a 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over.
But it was over 1.
Oh, I was gonna say over football, I assume. Oh, you call it.
There was a football, but it was over 1.
Well, congratulations, Emma.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm filming.
You are not.
I love that you look straight at Frank and you were like, it's important, it's really important. And I was just like, I'm just going to sit here and just...
The name she will say go at some point.
Go.
So, hi Brian. I mean,
Hi, Frank.
okay, now I've got to do that again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a hard part.
I'll.
Okay, ready?